Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the ID-52 and the micro SD card that we can use with it. So the first thing we're going to look at is why do we actually use the micro SD card and what can it store. So it will store the transceiver settings, which is also known as the ICF file. This can be edited on the CS52 software from Icom, or you can actually get some software from RT Systems. It will store the communication and the receive log. It'll have the automatic answering voice for use in DV mode. You can have voice recorder for pre-recorded messages such as CQ calls and contest calls if you're using it from home. You can capture screens, and that's just like the screen images that you'll see in the user manual, although I'm not really sure what use that would be for everyday use. It'll have the memory channel contents. You can import and export to these and the various types of memories. The FM radio memory, your call sign memory for use in DV mode, the repeater list for use in the DR memories, GPS memory, position data from the GPS receiver if you're using the logging feature, and that can be subsequently imported into various mapping software packages. Pictures for the share picture function, transmitted and receive log of the shared pictures, pictures for the opening picture setting, and firmware update files. So it's quite a bit to take in, and you'll probably not use all of them, but it's worth knowing what the SD card can store. So in addition to what it can store, we'll look at what options we have in the SD card menu and how to use some of them. If I were to cover each item, it'd be quite a long video, so I'll just cover the main items for when you start using the radio. And some options justify another video, such as the firmware upgrades. You can use a micro SD card of up to 2 GB or a micro SDHC card of up to 32 GB. It's best to insert this with the radio off, and you'll find it on the left hand side, just here. And if I pop that in, close the little waterproof cover, so that's got the card in and we're all ready to format it. Quite often people wonder why a particular feature is not working on a pre-formatted card or one that they've formatted in Windows. Well, the radio actually needs to write the Icom file structure to the card for some of these features to work. There are separate folders for different types of memories, log files, pictures and the upgrade files. So this will be the first thing that we do. So if we switch the radio on, we're going to menu, come across to set, scroll down to SD card, come down to format, select that option, confirm we want to do the format, there we go. So that now has the Icom file structure on it. So what we'll do next is connect the radio up to the PC and we'll look at the file structure in Windows File Explorer. So if we open up the cover on the right hand side and connect our USB cable to it, prompt us and we say yes. So on the PC we now have the radio showing as a USB drive. So if we select that, we can see the folder ID-52 that's been created by the formatting option. Within that we've got the file structure required for the various memories and log files. Most of these are going to be covered on the micro SD card options. We'll just quickly run through them. So capture is if we're doing any screen captures of the radio, they'll be saved into this folder. CSV holds the import and export files for the various memories that we'll cover. GPS, opening picture, picture files, QSO logs in CSV format. Reply, that's used for digital voice. You can automatically reply if somebody's calling you in particular. RX log, that'll be in CSV format. Your settings folder, that's your ICF folder, which we'll cover. So it's important that you back up your radio fairly regular basis if you're making changes, and definitely worth keeping a copy on your PC as well should anything happen to the SD card. And we've got voice, voice record and voice TX. So what I tend to do is copy the ID-52 folder to my PC and then rename the folder ID-52 and then say a month and a year. So if I have any issues with the SD card, I'd still need to do the format just to be on the safe side in the radio, and then just drag and drop the ID-52 folder to it, and that will then put any of my pre-existing memories, config files and anything else that the radio's stored to the card back on that, and I shouldn't have lost too much information. So that's the file structure on the micro SD card. So we can just disconnect that from File Explorer now. So something to be aware of with the radio and the USB port are the different settings for it. So if we go into the menu and set, go up to function, USB connect, and then you've got charge only or SD card mode, and I would just make sure it's on SD card mode before you go into File Explorer. So if we go back into the SD card menu and we'll just look at our next options on here. So the first thing I'd do would be to save the radio settings. It's a fairly useful habit to get into if you're making changes to the radio on a fairly regular basis. So if anything should go wrong, you can always go back to a previous working version. So if we select the save setting, you'll be prompted with a new file. So if we select this, it will give us like a default name based on the date, and the 01 is the first save on that day. So if you do a subsequent save, it will become 02. You can edit the file name if you want using the usual method, but for this one we're just going to use the existing file name that it's chosen. Select that, say yes, and it'll save fairly quickly. And of course these will be found in the ID-52 setting folder. One thing to be aware of is the next option, Save Form, and this is the version that the file is saved in. you can see the different options. It should default to Now-Ver, the current version of the firmware installed. If it is on another version, you may have issues editing with your software or sharing the file. The next thing we'll look at is the load setting. Again, on here, if you've got several files, they'll all be listed on here and you can select which one you want. Just for this, we're just going to select the one we've just saved to look at the options. We've got three options. So we have all, which loads all memory settings, the settings on the menu screen, and the repeater list for use in DR mode. Accept My Station is going to be all the memory channels, the settings on the menu screen with the exception of My Call Signs, and it'll also load the repeater list. So the only thing anybody would have to set after that is their own call sign within the menu. And the last option is repeater list only. Again, this will just load the repeater list for use in DR mode. So just to show you how it goes, if we select all, you can choose yes or no here. We'll go with yes for any skip settings. Load the file. It will check the file and then load that in. Once it's loaded in, it will prompt you to reboot the radio. Have a look at the next option, which is import and export. So within here we can import the memory channels, FM radio memories, your call sign memories, repeater lists for use in DR mode, and GPS memories. And all of these will be in CSV format. Again, they could be shared between different models of Icom radios if you want. And export, again, you're going to be exporting the same memories into CSV format. The last option we have is the CSV format itself. And again, I'll just leave it on the default. Next option we have is opening picture. So if you want to customize your radio a bit, you can upload a file in bitmap format into the ID-52 opening picture folder, and you can then select that. Next option is SD card info. That'll tell us the free space we have on the card, the total recording time for any voice contacts, and your digital voice options, and your digital voice memories, and the overall capacity of the card. Going on to the next screen, we have screen capture view. Something I can't really see you using. You can take screen captures. The only time you really see this is in the basic and the advanced manuals. So can't really see what use it would be. TX RX picture view. So if you use shared picture function, you can actually save images here if you wish to copy them off onto your PC. Firmware update. We'll cover this on another video. This is where you'd select your update file. Format we've covered, and unmount is if you wish to remove your micro SD card while the radio is powered up. We'd select that, and you'd then be able to eject the card while the radio is powered up. as it is. We're just going to quit back to the main screen. So hopefully that's covered the SD card menu for you. There's quite a few options in there. Again, not all of them will be used, but if you do want to copy any files off to your PC, obviously you've seen how that can be done now. Useful if you want to transfer pictures. You can get some on the radio from the PC, as well as using the Android app. Again, that'll be covered on another video. So thanks for watching. If you'd like to like and subscribe, and we'll try and bring you more content on the Icom radios to the channel.